It's mailbag time here at Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, answering all of your questions on the NFL draft, free agency, trades, and everything else in between. Remember to be subscribed if you want to be a part of these mailbags. First in from Nick McClain. Now the Saints did this. Think they'll get younger at center. Eric McCoy's not old, though. So, look, he is in the last year of his deal. So if you wanted to draft and replace, okay. Not sure I'd do that route. Frankly, I'd be more worried about Cesar Ruiz. I'm looking at quarterback and left tackle. And maybe receiver is a route you want to go. I would wonder if the wheeling and dealing is done yet for the New Orleans Saints. They could still make some moves, I think. From Ryan Hood, if you were GM of the Raiders, what would your next 3 moves be? I would go sign Jay Shredder because I do not believe in Andre James as my center. I don't think he's very good. I would look hard at a new right tackle. Brandon Parker, I do not believe is it. If you can't find someone in free agency, I'm looking towards the draft there. And then I'm probably trying to work out a Derek Carr extension, which might be a little bit dicey from an overall value perspective. From Juan Hernandez, if the Raiders sign the Honey Badger, what would you think his contract would look like? It's a tricky one. I think he wants at least $10 million a year. Maybe you give him 3 years, 30 with like $20 million guaranteed. He might want more. I think that might be a little bit more in line with his actual value, though. At least what the Raiders would be prepared to spend. From Keith Thompson, how about the Falcons trading for N'Keal Harry? They don't really have any wide receivers, and they don't. That receiving core is absolute cheeks. It's terrible. Your number one guy is Auden Tate, Demir Bird, Olamide Zaccheaus, Frank Darby. That's bad. So I think of all the teams that actually make sense, give them like a 7th round pick, but you also got to draft guys, plural, this year. From Mikey Fan, will the Cardinals pay or trade Kyler Murray? That's the problem, isn't it? Kyler wants to get paid now. He's watching Deshaun Watson get the bag. He's watching Josh Allen get the bag. He's watching Matthew Stafford, etc. He goes, I want that too. The problem is Murray has not yet performed to that level of play. Started 2021 great. Really struggled down the stretch. But there are teams who would desperately love to add Kyler Murray. Some potential fits. The Steelers, yeah, they signed Mitch Trubisky. They've been linked to QBs. They draft somebody. Hurts, not Murray, I don't think, upside or current-wise, so Philadelphia. The Giants would have their franchise QB. The Saints now have 2 first-rounders. Carolina is in dire straits for QB help. Tennessee could go full-fledged. Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. Seattle could get a new QB. The Lions. At some level, there's only like 10 teams that like you would know for a fact would not have interest in Kyler Murray. Maybe it's more like 12, but there would be a lot of interest. Arizona, they didn't extend their GM head coach. Can't bring in a new QB. He's got to be your guy, or I think that regime is getting fired. So what would you do if you're the Cardinals with Kyler Murray? Type T for trade him, sell him while his value is highest. Type W for we're going to wait him out and maybe pay him next year. Or type P for you'd pay him right now. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and type in your T, W, or P. From Anthony, these teams are crazy for giving a wide receiver $30 million a year. Yeah, and 2 years ago we said these teams are crazy for giving a wide receiver $20. The salary cap, right to the moon. Unlike Dogecoin, it's actually going to go to the moon. So it's a lot right now. I get the sticker shock. I do. QBs are getting 50. I know it's a lot. It's not going to look like that much in 2 or 3 years. Trust me on that one. From Maverick Miller, which receiver would you like the Chiefs to draft? Yes is my answer. I would really like a Jameson Williams. I don't think he gets there. My concern for KC is without a trade that what might end up happening is the Big Five, London, Wilson, Olave, Burks, and Williams, they could all be gone. So if that's the case, you're looking at a Christian Watson, a Sky Moore, George Pickens, and things get a little bit lighter at that point. We got some NFL draft hats available for you guys, the 2020 version from our friends over at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. Check the comment section and the description of today's video. That link is in there. Some of the hats look great, some not so much. Some, like the Cowboys, you have to do the blackout version because white text on white text isn't the best thing. In the Vikings one, though, I think that works really well. Tons of styles. They got the flat brim, the rounded brim, the adjustable, the clip-on, the fitted, all kinds of styles for you guys at chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. From Kevin McFlurry, the photo of Giannis. Should the Chiefs go after Ndamokung Suh? Are you out on Derek Nandi? If so, okay, I get it. It's fine, I guess. Sure, explore it. I'm looking at edge, actually, as their bigger focal point. I'd be looking for a guy like Clowney for KC because Joshua Kando, Mike Dana, I don't want that guy as my number 2 edge. Maybe you draft someone, and if that's the case, you could revisit Suh post-NFL draft. From Smokey McKenzie, do my Texans trade back from number 3 overall? If not, should we go after Neal or Kayvon Thibodeau? I've got both guys rated very similarly. I think both would be quality picks. If you're going to play Titus Howard at guard, which I think is the route they're going to pursue, then I probably have my eye on a new right tackle in Evan Neal. If you're going to play around, okay, maybe you play A.J. Cann and start Max Sharping. I think it's going to be guard, though, in the end for Howard. Then I look at Thibodeau. I think whichever route you don't go, you're probably looking hard at that position with your other first rounder for the other need. But they got needs everywhere. So I think they would love to trade back. I don't know who wants to move up, however. From Sean, the RC mechanic, who will fall to the Falcons with the number 8 pick? Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, Kenny Pickett, Jermaine Johnson. I don't think Walker is there. I do think there's a chance that everyone else is on the board. In fact, I think one of the QBs goes to Carolina. I think it's Pickett, actually, with the Matt Rule connection and you need to win games now. I could see Willis, Johnson, and Davis all being on the board. I could see Kyle Hamilton being there. I could see a Kayvon Thibodeau being there for you. There will be good players on the board at number 8 for the Falcons, and with all their needs, take BPA and just continue to build. From Tristan Bravo, do you feel Christian Harris is underrated due to the overwhelming amount of defensive prospects? I have a second-round grade on Christian Harris, and I think that's where he goes, so I don't think he's underrated. If he gets out of the second round, then yes. I will say this. I think that the linebacking group this year is really deep for the top 100. And you will find a guy that should have gone earlier in the 3rd round or so, because linebacker is not always a big-time run. So I could see Harris sliding, and in that case, yes, I think he'd be underrated. But I got a second-round grade, which is about where I think he goes, so I'm not going to call him underrated from that standpoint. For more NFL coverage, including every single pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, hit that big red button and subscribe right now on YouTube. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. From James Heiner with, is that a Josh Love profile picture? I can't tell who that is. As a result of the Tyreek Hill trade, do you think KC goes either Olave or Josh Dotson at 29? I don't know if either. I think there's a good chance they go receiver. If Olave's there, make him the pick. Like, that's a no-brainer. I think if he's not there, Dotson could make sense. Sky Moore, Christian Watson. I would be surprised if they didn't go receiver in round 1, but draft stuff happens. There's surprises all the time. From Rashard Lee, a lot of people hate Dak. He's a top 10 QB. Let's see here. In general, I think a lot of the hate and whatnot comes from the preconceived notions and the bias built into where they were drafted. This works both ways, right? Like, Dak was a 4th-round pick. There's a reason why he fell to the 4th round. Sam Darnold was a top 3 pick or whatever. There's a reason why he was a top 3 pick. The answer is Darnold sucks, Dak does not. So the way to change that is to either be bad like Sam Darnold for a long time or win a title. Until you win the title, and even after to an extent, there will always be some negative standpoints around those QBs. Dallas 8-9 million next scapegoat. There you go. The millions next. Or Mike McCarthy's the next scapegoat. I get it now. Jack seems like a great individual. Jack says that he is not above flattery. Does Dallas have a chance of getting a better QB2? Jimmy G in case Dak gets hurt for the 5th time in 4 years. Those numbers don't add up in terms of like games missed at all. But if Jimmy G gets cut, maybe. In reality, Dak missed 1 game this year. Obviously, the freak ankle injury last year, and that's it. So I actually don't think injury is that big of a concern for Prescott. If it happens again this year, I can have that conversation. But I don't think the Cowboys view it as a concern right now. From Tommy 2 times. Okay, where will Tyrann Mathieu sign? Let's see here. And anywhere? I am surprised that the Honey Badger has not yet found a destination. The report was that teams are worried about regression. I don't think he regressed that much. I think he's still a damn good football player. I think there are a lot of teams that should have interest, but the NFL's ageist. These 30-plus-year-old guys don't get the same money they think they're going to. We've seen that time and time again. So some fits that could make sense. Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh Steelers, constantly linked, and wouldn't that be fun for Denver? The Saints have been linked heavily. I mean, Matthew himself said he talked to Mike Tomlin. The Colts, they got money to burn. The Dolphins, which I don't hate that idea. I'm not convinced that they'd go do it. I know Chris Greer said no, but maybe the markets come back down, and then it could put the Dolphins back in the conversation. So what do you think? Where will Tyrann Mathieu end up signing? Make your prediction for me right now in the comments section. From Taylor Holland, probability Tariq Woolen becomes a top 10 QB in 3 to 4 years. In general, I will always take the low side on a top 10 player. Woolen's got the traits you want. He's not a great corner right now, though. Like the risk you run here is that Tariq Woolen is just the next in a long line of, yeah, he's a great athlete, but he's not a good football player. So I think very low. He has the traits, the size, and length the teams love, but top 10's a lot to ask for. Sky Moore, better upside than Christian Kirk? I kind of think so, yeah. I think they could go similar ranges. So I think Moore's a better route runner. But I think like in terms of like impact early on, not that far off. Maybe a bit better, hopefully, for Sky Moore. Chad Muma, perfect team fit. Take your pick. I don't know. Maybe Denver, I think, could actually be a decent fit for Chad Muma. Producer Jack's like Vikings in my ear. I'm like, maybe Vikings. They don't need that. They don't need a linebacker that early, but maybe Vikings. Sure, if they are out long term on Kendricks, Muma could be a fit then. Yeah. From Markov of Spain, why would we announce then release Collins, not secure Steele first? He'll demand more money. So Terrence Steele is not eligible for a contract extension. Steele cannot be extended until after next year. So there was nothing the Cowboys could do there. Who could we pick up as a free agent? This is about the Cowboys, by the way. I'd call about Eric Flowers. Give me a guard so I don't have to take guard top 56, which is where the Cowboys are at right now.